Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the return of Chief District Court Judge Judge Boasberg to follow through on the contempt investigation of the administration for what seems to have been blatantly dishonest and disobedient conduct way back, so it feels to us now, in March involving the unlawful deportation of Abrego Garcia to Seacott Prison. Now, this may feel to you like old news. If so, wipe off the film because it's really important, and Boasberg is doing a real solid for the country. Briefly reviewing the bidding from March 15th, that was the whole first big standoff when Boasberg convenes an emergency hearing because people are being apparently told to get on planes and be deported. He told the administration attorneys, don't do it. If they are there, turn the planes around. There was an oral order and a written order and all kinds of squirrely, evasive maneuvers by the administration, hiding behind bogus reasons like once the plane takes off, it's no longer under Boasberg's jurisdiction. Wrong. Or later post hoc rationalizations like what a dangerous narco-terrorist Abrego Garcia is. Wrong or certainly unproven. But the number one thing, push came to shove because Boasberg took push to shove. And basically, it seems, and this is what he's going to look into, that Emile Beauvais, as the central sort of evil figure here, told his charges in the Department of Justice, the new, crew in town throwing around its weight, we're going to violate court orders. We may have to say, fuck you. This is his words, not mine, to the courts. And those planes are landing in El Salvador no matter what, i.e., we're going to violate. Now, that's really outrageous. It was sort of breathtaking in a bad way when we learned it might be the case. And Boasberg, who is an absolute methodical, hugely respected, down-the-middle judge, took it on himself to really not let it go. That is, to not let go the separate possibility of contempt by the United States, even as events generally proceeded. And, there's been 18 different new steps with Abrego Garcia. But Boasberg, who, remember, he's the chief judge of the district court. That district court sat in judgment of 1,000+ insurrectionists after January 6th, biggest operation in DOJ history, saw them all face to face, knew what absolute evil figures they were, and had to get the punch to the gut when all the work of 3 years was wiped out with a swipe of the pen a few hours after Trump takes office and the wholesale pardons. So he is, in part, I think, a representative of the district court, and as the chief judge, wants to really represent the interests of the judiciary, not to mention the people. And those are clearly implicated if the administration just violates orders. That's a serious, absolutely corrupt undertaking if that's what they did. Okay, the administration tried everything in the book. Oh, just let it go, Boasberg, or we may do state secrets, et cetera, and he decided he's going forward, and he finds probable cause to investigate, at which point the administration does an immediate emergency appeal to the DC Circuit, and they put Boasberg's inquiry on hold for 7 months. But then a few days ago, they issued their opinion, which basically, I won't go into its intricacies, but even though it didn't set aside what the panel had done, that's now kind of played out. There's no real precedent to it. And I think the progressives on the court, like Nina Pillard, very strategically were able to craft the opinion so that Boasberg now has the contempt investigation again, and there's really nothing for the Supreme Court to do. So it played in the media as a victory for the administration. It wasn't. It was a smart move and a victory for this very effort to continue to hold them accountable even as the time passes. So now Boasberg is back, but his hand has been strengthened. In particular, you may remember early on, some people from the administration try to do their jobs honorably, but still follow their orders. And probably the most prominent among them was a then administration lawyer named Erez Ruveni, who had the temerity of going into court and answering the direct question, was Abrego Garcia's transfer in violation of a standing judicial order a simple fact that the duty of candor requires you to acknowledge? And said, yes. Did absolutely as all DOJ previous ethics and duties to the court not just suggest, but require. For that, he was fired. And in fact, in very harsh terms, where the DOJ accused him of failure to follow a directive, failure to zealously advocate on behalf of the United States, and for arguing against Homeland Security in the State Department. Again, because he did what? Told the truth to the question, which they were dodging and prevaricating, whether there was an outstanding order that Abrego Garcia was transferred in violation of. The answer is just a straight up yes. He was fired, and he's now an official whistleblower. That means he's actually submitted, according to established procedures, certain information to the leaders of the Congress and the Inspector General otherwise memorialized it. But he's someone who is now available to testify, and whom Boasberg will want to call. And what will Ruveni say? We know from his actual whistleblower disclosure. It's basically that Emile Beauvais, this is the core of it, said exactly what people said he had said. He did all kinds of dodgy maneuvers to try to ignore or deflect judicial orders. And then when it really came to it, he said, we may have to say fuck you to the courts. And then even more seriously to me, said those planes are going to land no matter what. There's nothing else that could mean than no matter if the judiciary holds otherwise, which is exactly what the judiciary did. Now, we have quite an interesting situation that only more fully reflects the corruption of this administration. Beauvais, for his loyal and corrupt service, violating, it would appear, and I think evidence will show, the orders of the court, has been rewarded with a Third Circuit judgeship. He now has life tenure. But if Boasberg believes Ruveni, he's definitely, he has to find the judge on the Court of Appeals lied, and lied to Congress during his confirmation testimony, when he actually said he never countermanded any judicial orders, and he doesn't quite recall ever using that F word, which is the most common perjury in the book. I don't recall when I'm sure he does, but that he definitely, by Ruveni's account, said the planes are gonna land, did his duty to Donald Trump, violated his oath and his duty to the country. So that's, I think, going to be very strong fodder for Boasberg to use to find the government in contempt, and according to the evidence, and it ought to hold up. And it's really a show of virtue that he is bound and determined to do it. If he does do it, it will be, among other things, a real bookmark in history that when they first came in, they were already pulling the dictator's move of just ignoring the court. And if he finds it, contempt, then the question of remedy will come up. Whom do you punish? How do you punish them? It's a criminal contempt, meaning it's already happened. And of course, Beauvais is now on the bench, though there are other actors as well. It may well be that there's no real effective hammer for Boasberg to wield. But nevertheless, the finding itself, I think, would be big news, should be big news, and good for Boasberg for hanging in there and not letting himself, when it would be so easy, just drop the matter, but pushing forward, recognizing its importance, recognizing his position as the leader of the DC District Court that has just been completely exploited and disrespected, I would say, by this administration since day one. So there's going to be strong hearing testimony. Stay tuned for it. Until then, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.